Hey guys, it's Steve here. Today is Saturday, December 14th, 2013. So great news today. I received my final car that I needed to complete my Boulevard set. I have, as I mentioned in previous posts or previous videos, I've been working on a complete carded and loose set, and the last one I needed, which happened to be the hardest one, was this one right here, the Classic Packard. I had the loose one, and it took me forever to find a carded one. Very hard to find. Probably paid a little bit more than I wanted to, although it may have been the going rate. I don't know. But needless to say, I went ahead and got it, and so I'm pretty psyched that I was able to complete the series. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you by case code. I also have a complete checklist that I'll also add to the end of the video in case you want to know, what cards came in what cases. I'll try to. I don't know a lot of history of the earlier cases, but the later cases, I can give you some information on which ones are harder to find, which ones are available, kind of get an idea where and where I found them. So. I haven't decided if I want to do this video in two parts, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. The other thing that I'm working on that I'll share at the end of the video, once I get those completed, is we'll talk about some of the Walmart factory case, factory Boulevard case exclusive cards as well, which there are 5 of them. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started, and I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to post any questions that you have, and I'll try to answer them. I am by no means an expert in all this stuff, but I basically do my research. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So basically, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 14, a total of 14 cases of the Boulevard series, numbering listed from A to P, with the exception of a case I and a case O. Don't know what happened to those. So I'm going to go ahead and do these videos, do this series as in the case order that I believe they came in, based on the research that I've done. So first, as we're going to start with, is case A. Case A had 2, 4, 6, 7. Had 7 vehicles. You'll also notice that as we get more into the later case codes, the number of cars, excuse me, the number of cars per that case kind of decrease. So, all right. Excuse me. So the first one is case A. We're going by the order of the vehicles that are listed on the back of the card. Okay. And so the first one is the AOK. Okay. And that's what it looks like. Okay, pretty nice piece. All these, just so you know, all the Boulevard cards are metal base, metal body, with wheel riders, as opposed to the new cool classics, which are all metal base, metal body, but with plastic wheels. Okay. All right. The next one is the FANGULA. And I'll try to go through this as quickly as I can. FANGULA, part of the Show Ride series. Okay. We'll talk about this one again later. This is one of the 5 Walmart exclusives. Okay. The next one is the Tucker Torpedo, part of the Ahead of Its Time. This one was a little bit harder to find. I actually had to order this one, find this one on eBay. Okay. Next one is the 52 Hudson Hornet. Hudson Hornet is one of the is also another one of the 5 Walmart exclusives. So we'll talk about that one later as well. Part of the Legends line. Okay. Next, we have, of course, the one that I told you earlier at the beginning of the video. The last one that I needed to complete my set. We have the Classic Packard, and the carded one was the last piece I was missing to complete this set. This is a really nice vehicle. I'm not into really old cars like this, but I do like this one. I like the can't go wrong with, of course, the black and the gold colors. Okay. And the next one is it's probably one of my favorites. It's the Chevy CAMARO concept. I like the color on this one and the wheels they chose. And actually, I think it's the same wheel choice as some of the CAMARO Supers as well. Alright, and then finally the last car of Case A is the Ford GTX-1. Concept cars. Alright, so that is basically Case A of the Boulevards. Okay, next case code is Case B. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, also 7 cars in this particular case. The first one is the 65 Chevy Impala from the Big Hits line. I'm actually digging this color in the deco on this one. Green windshield. Okay. The next one is the 57 Chevy Bel Air. Part of the Big Hits. This one actually has an opening hood. Okay. Next we have the 55 Lincoln Futura concept. This is another one of the Walmart exclusives, which we'll talk about later. Basically, looks like the Batmobile. Okay. Next one, as we move along here, is the 65 Mustang. Also has opening hood as well. This is a nice piece. Okay. Next we have the Dune Daddy. Part of the show rods, excuse me. Reminds me a little of the Myers-Manx cars. Pretty cool. Alright, next we have the Golden Submarine. Actually found some of these. I think I found both of these actually in a giant food store in our area. Part of ahead of its time. It's actually one that I kind of like, surprisingly. Looks like something that should be on the soft flats. Okay, and then finally, the last one from KC is the Triumph TR6. I kind of like this casting as well. I like the color on this one. Did a nice job. Part of the Legends line. Okay, so that is case B. On to case C. Alright, so case C actually has 7 cars as well. The first one is the 70 Ford Torino, part of the Underdogs line. I really like the color on this one, and with the orange or red kind of accent for the tampos. These have been pretty. This KC and Case D, which we'll talk about soon, are pretty relevant. Well, excuse me, Case C is pretty easy to find in the grocery stores in our area, so not too difficult. Okay, next one is the Double Demon. Not a big fan of this one, but nevertheless, it's not too bad. Part of the Show Rides line. Okay. Next we have, I guess no line is complete without having a Buick Grand National, part of ahead of its time. Not much you can do with this one. It's pretty standard, good looking car. Oh, and the I believe, yeah, the hood opens up, or in this case it actually comes off. Okay. Pretty accurate as far as the color and everything. Okay. Alright. Next one is a 78 Ford Mustang 2. Underdogs. I like the stance on this one, actually. Pretty cool. Wheels are okay, but lots of detail. It's one of the things I love about the Boulevard series is, I mean, the quality of car that you're getting is pretty reasonable for the price. Price point for these are usually anywhere between $3 and $4. So I think that's not asking for too much for metal base, metal body, real riders, lots of detail. The next one here is the Plymouth AAR CUDA Legends. It's one of my favorite castings as well. This particular one has a lot of detail. Okay. Next one is the PACKIN Pacer. I like this one. I'm not a big fan of these type of wheels on them though. PACKIN Pacer, I'm part of the Underdogs. But like I said, the detail on these makes up for it, I think. In my opinion. Okay. And then finally, for case C, we are going to round it off with concept car, the 2009 Corvette Stingray concept. Okay, pretty nice car. Like the red, kind of metallic red. Cool. Not too bad choice of wheels either. So very nice. All right, so that was case C. On to case D. Alright, so case D, also 7 cars. We're starting off with the 70 Pontiac GTO Judge, a part of the Legends. This particular piece I was not able to find at all in the wild, so I actually had to buy both of them through on eBay. But it's a pretty cool looking car. Great orange with the very modest blue tampo over the wheel wells. Okay. Not sure about the wheels on these, but you know, not bad, I guess. Next is the Chrysler Pronto. I think this was probably my first or second ever Boulevard that I ever got. It basically is about maybe a year and a half ago, and that's really when I started collecting. And so at the time I didn't really know, you know, that there was that there was going to be a full line of these, etc. Until I really got these. And when I got this one, I was like, wow, this is really a nice car. Lots of detail. You know, very clean. Okay. Next one. Ahead of its time, the DeLorean DMC 12. Okay. And just like basically this particular DeLorean casting, the back does open up. If you can get to stay up. Okay. Alright. Next we have the 58 Edsel Legends. And, okay, I thought maybe the hood opened up, but I am incorrect. Okay. Next one, which is also has been hard to find, and I actually had to get from other resources and not in wild, is the Dodge Caravan, surprisingly. I guess if you're gonna drive a minivan, then at least drive in style, right? Okay. Next one is the Plymouth Duster Thruster. Found one of them in the stores and had to order another one. This is actually a pretty nice one. I like how there's no hood at all on this one. Duster Thruster. And finally, I guess one of many people's favorite castings to round out the case D is the twin mill show rods. This is a pretty cool piece. Okay. Alright, well that's case D. Onward to case E. Alright, so case E also consists of 7 cars. First one we're going to start off with is one of the another one of the Walmart exclusives, the AMPHICAR. I think this is kind of a love or hate type of vehicle. As many probably would agree with me. The first thing I think of when I see this car is SpongeBob. So, and they made it one of the exclusive cars. I'm not sure why, but nevertheless they did. So, I like it. Next is the 32 Ford. I think this is one of my first ones that I bought as well, or found. One of the first Boulevards. Okay. Next is part of the concept cars. It's the 51 SABRE concept. Not sure I'm a big fan of this one. I'm not really digging that color, or maybe it's the color combination. So this is actually one of the castings in the new Cool Classics. I want to say it's case C of the Cool Classics. Okay. Alright, next is the 1963 Chrysler Turbine. Concept cars. Okay. Next, we've got the 68 Olds 442. Big hits. Okay. Next, we have one of my favorites. I actually have a 1/18th scale of this particular one. Got the old classic Red Baron show rods. And then finally, to round out case E, go with an old classic. Engine fire prone, the Pontiac Fiero 2M4. This is used to be one of my dream cars when I was in high school. It was either that or the MR2, the original ones, the first generation ones. Okay. Alright, well that rounds out case E. Onward to case F. Alright, so here we are starting off with case F. We have the Metro Rail Nash Metropolitan. I think this particular one is a love or hate type of car. I actually like it. Okay. Next, we have the custom V8 Vega. You got this particular one from one of the club members. Thanks, Dave. Okay. Next, found this particular one in Walmart, I believe. It's the Ford Shelby GR1 concept. I'm kind of digging all the with the exception of the stripe down the middle. I kind of like the color of this one. Good wheel choice as well. Next we have the 67 Pontiac Firebird, part of the Legends. This is another one I couldn't find in a while. I had to order this one. Next, we have another one of my favorites, I should say. The Rigger motor. Pretty cool marketing concept on this particular one. Rigger motor. Show rods. Okay. Next, not a big fan of this one, but nevertheless it's not too bad. The 34 Chrysler Airflow. Reminds me of a car that you'd see, except a shorter version of what you would see in the movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Very chic. Okay. And then finally, to round out case F, we have one of my favorites, the 69 Chevy Camaro. I love the blue color on this one. They did a nice job. Okay, that rounds out case F. On to case G. Alright, let's go ahead and start with case G. This is the first case where we're losing a car in this particular case. We're down to 6 cars. We're still going to start off with the 77 Pontiac Firebird from the Big Hits. Very nice looking car. Obviously the first thing you think about when you see this is Smokey and the Bandit. They did a really nice job on this one. Next one is the Copper Stopper. Found this one in the wild as well, but I had to order the carded one, if I remember. Okay. Okay. The next one, which I'm hoping I can find a better card. Card is not in the best of shape. This is the 63 Ford Mustang 2 concept. The car is really bad shape, bent, creased. Looks like, I think I actually got that one on clearance at Walmart. Okay. Next one also I got picked up from a club member, one that I needed from Dave, the Very 8 from the Underdog series. Okay. Next we have the custom 56 Ford truck. One of my favorite castings as well. Big Hits. The main line of this, many main lines of this particular truck is also metal. So that's what makes this one particularly a desirable piece, if you can find it. Okay. Custom 56 Ford truck. And then finally, to round out case G, we have the Volkswagen Type 181. underdogs. And I believe, like the main line of the 181, I believe. Yep. The roof comes off. Okay. Alright, so that was case G. On to case H. Alright, so case H actually goes back up to 7 cars again, starting with another Volkswagen Beetle. There's several castings of this particular one, different colors, so not too bad. Again, not a big fan of these types of wheels, but they work with this car. Next one is the last one of the 5 Walmart exclusives. It's the Porsche 914-6, part of the underdogs. Okay, next, there's been several main lines of this as well. The 49 Drag Merc, part of the Legends. Interesting thing about this one, if I remember, on some of the drag mercs, there's a piece on the bottom that actually flips out. I guess it's the roll bar or the wheelie bar that just pops up into place there. Some have it, some don't, and it just folds back in and locks into the bottom of the base. So kind of cool. Next one, not a big fan of this. 41 Willys, but at least they did a pretty good job on it. Legends. I like the color, but again, I'm not a big fan of the casting. But again, like I said, I'm not a big into the older cars. The next one, actually, it's one of my favorites as well. I don't know about a lot of people don't like it. It's What a Drag. And it was even cooler that I found out that they actually made a 1/1 scale of this particular vehicle. So it does exist out there, just like the GR2, the blue one. I think this is pretty cool. Okay. The next one, also another favorite, is the Mustang GT Concept. Again, I really like the blue on this particular one. Part of the concept cars. Okay. Alright. And then finally, to round out case H, we have another one, a nice one, the T-Bucket. Also, if I'm not mistaken, also a casting in the Cool Classics line. I want to say B, maybe C case. I like this one because it has a lot of detail. I think they chose the right tires, right wheels on this. I think they look really good on this one. I always imagine seeing this thing, it'd be cool to see this in real life. Okay. Alright, so that was case H. Let's move on to case J. As I mentioned earlier, I don't know why, but they skipped case I, so they went straight to case J. So let's go ahead and go start that one. Alright, so to start off with Case J, again another one of my favorites. The actually Case 8J, excuse me, also has 8 cars as well. This of course is the Vector W8 twin turbo, considered ahead of its time, and as true is considered one of the big contenders to like Lamborghini and Ferrari back in the 80s, if I remember. Beautiful car, you know, supercar at the time. So I don't think I've ever seen one of these in real life. I can't remember, but if I didn't, it would be nice too, just to see it. Next one is the Honda Civic Si. Big hits. Next, they have a Austin Healey Legends. And I believe, no, I was wrong. I thought the hood opened up on that one, but it does not. Okay. Next, another one of my favorite that many people don't like what were they thinking type of thing. Hot tub. I love the idea. Show rods. Next, 55 Corvette, ahead of its time. Next, 64 Pontiac GTO. Big hits. Looks like, yep, hood on this one, particular one opens. Next, another one of my favorite. I think this is a great casting. Pontiac GTO wagon. Okay. Also big hits. Nice thing. Cool thing about this one is it actually has a little dog in the back. Black dog. Kind of hard to tell. It's a great looking car there. Wagon. I like the color choices on this, but I don't know if you can't see it, but there is a dog in the back. And then finally, to round out Case J, we have AMC Rebel Machine. I like the blue on this one, part of the Legends series. Okay, so that is Case J. Onward, Case K. We're halfway, or more than halfway through. So, hope you're enjoying it, and we'll keep going. All right, so on to Case K. We're starting off with the head of its time, Ferrari F40. Okay, on this particular one, the engine compartment does open up. So it opens up, doesn't stay up. Very good representation of the Ferrari F40. Although I don't think the wheels stood out as wide as they show here, but nevertheless, it's a pretty good pretty good replica of the 40. Next is the 64 Ford Falcon Spirit. Underdogs. Next is the Gangster Grin show rods. Next we have another Honda Civic Coupe in this case. Big hits. I think it's kind of funny they actually made this to represent a carbon fiber roof and a carbon fiber hood. And it even looks like they may have an intercooler on the front. Next we have the 56 Mercury Legends. And it looks like this one also has an opening hood as well. Great color on that one. Great window color as well. We have the Fantastique. Ahead of its time. And then finally, to round out K-Case, we have another one of my favorites, the 63 Studebaker. Part of the Legends. Okay. Alright, that is K-Case. On to L. Alright, so for L case and really the rest of the cases of the line, they've actually, I don't know what they're thinking, but they actually have some of the best cars, in my opinion, the best cars in L case and beyond. Unfortunately, they cut down the number of cars, the Rite Aid cars, down to 5 from what used to be 7 and 8 cars. Unfortunately, I guess that's how it goes. So the first one, again, one of the big favorites that for all of the Boulevard collectors is the 71 Datsun Bluebird 510 wagon. Did a really nice job on this, the color combination, the casting, everything. Beautiful car. Again, another favorite of mine. Really, this particular case was a good one. The Renault 5 Turbo. Again, great looking car, great color. These last 3 to 4 cases have been hard to find. They actually, really, 3 out of the last 4 cases. The only I haven't seen them in retail in this area, so I've had to actually ended up buying a case, factory case, just to get the ones I wanted. They're going for pretty, not insanely, but for still some pretty high prices on eBay. So, again, another fan favorite, the Nissan Skyline HT 2000 GTX. Next one, 55 Corvette. And you'll notice one thing starting with case L and to the end is they stopped, I don't know why, they stopped naming the lines, the series or the lines for each case. Remember we had, like, I was calling out Legends, show rods, ahead of its time, things like that. They, for some reason, decided not to do that with case L through the end of the series. Don't know why. Guess it's not a big deal, but I don't know. Maybe they're rushing to get the complete set done. And then finally, for case L, we have another '84 Pontiac Fiero. I think I found a couple of these in the wild as well, probably at Toys R Us. Alright, so that was case L. Again, pretty quick cases. On to case M. Alright, so case M was another favorite. Again, 5 cars only. I'm going to start off with the '85 Honda Civic Honda CRX. Okay, not a bad casting. As you know, there was a Hot Ones, or red Hot Ones of this particular casting. A big favorite of mine, although many people will argue the wheels, the long gone. Not many trucks haven't seen many trucks lately until now. Long gone is one of them. We got the Convoy Customs and the Thunder Rollers have been pretty popular in the last, most recently. So, but this is a really nice looking truck. So it's the long gone. Hot Ones has one as well as a red one. That's also a nice piece. Metal, of course. So that one's particularly hard to find as well. The only place I found it is, I never found it in the wild, of course, but you can find them on eBay, but again, you're going to pay a little bit more because it is a popular casting. Another popular casting, again, 2012 Ford Fiesta. This is I like this casting as well. Again, this was one of the regular treasure hunts several months ago, the orange and red one. Good looking car. Same casting also they use for the Ken Block cars, the white and the black Ken Block cars. Fourth car here, '66 Chevelle. Okay. And then finally, to round out case M, we got the '84 Hearst Olds. And actually, I kind of like this casting. I think it's a nice combination. Again, can't go wrong with black and red combination. Not too bad choice of wheel selection, I guess. All right. So that was case M. We got 2 more cases left. Alright, case N. Again, 5 pieces. This is probably the most popular of this particular case. Well, one of the most popular. There's 2 others. These cases, the last 2 or 3 cases, I should say, we never saw in the stores, or supposedly we weren't supposed to see in stores. This is the '85 Chevy Astrovan. But fortunately, at least in my area, I was able to find several of these cases at Toys R Us over the past 4 or 5 months. So I was able to find several of the Astrovans. Okay. Next one is another '58 Plymouth Belvedere in red. Okay. Okay. Next, for the Mustang guys, 84 Mustang SVO. They actually did a pretty nice job on this one, I think. I've seen several of these on the pegs as well at Toys R Us. I have enough that I need that I've actually left some. Another popular one, of course, the Subaru Brat. There's also a Hot Ones of Subaru Brat that's been very hard to find and very expensive if you want to buy it on eBay. Don't mind the color selection on this one, not too bad. And then finally, to round out case N, another favorite is the Ford GT. They did a nice job on this one as well. Okay. Alright, that was case N. On to the last case, case P. Alright, to finish off here, last case, case P, again, only 5 pieces. I would say 3 or 4 of these were very popular. These particular cases, again, we never saw in Walmarts or Targets or Toys R Us's, but they actually started hitting stores in the last 2 or 3 months. They started hitting TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and one more store that I can't think of. And the best thing about them showing up in those stores where they went for $2.99 a piece, so it was a good deal. So we have the 1988 Jeep Wagoneer. Next, we have probably my favorite of all the Boulevards. We have the Porsche 993 GT2. They did a beautiful job on this particular one. So great that I actually tried to pick up as many as I could and trade for as many as I could. Okay. Next, we have the 85 Ford Bronco 4x4. Not a big fan of the color combination. It's nice casting. Okay. Next, we have the 63 Corvette. I'm not sure why, but they actually included 2 Corvettes in this particular line. I like this particular one. The biggest flaw that I have with this one is the wheel gap in the front. But it's just little things, I guess, that details like that kind of bother me. But nevertheless, it's a good casting. I like the color choice. Wheel choice is pretty nice. Okay. And then finally, this is it. This is the end. The last car of P-Case and of the Boulevard line is the Corvette C6R. Okay. Did a really nice job in this one as well. Okay. Alright, folks, well, that is it. That is the Boulevard, complete Boulevard, my complete Boulevard line, both loose and carded. I'm going to go ahead at some point and I think I might do it separately. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I will do another section on just the 5 Walmart exclusives that you can get from, that you could only get from the Walmart factory case set. So we'll talk about those later. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video of all the cars. I will also be in the description below. I'll hope to be able to list all the cars and all the cases that they came in, so that you have that as a reference. Okay. Until then, happy hunting, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.